Welcome to Let's Talk on WIN TV. I'm your host, Denise Rolark Barnes, and it is back to school time. Can you believe it? The summer is over. And I know that you parents are out there trying to get those back to school supplies set up for your children. The kids are getting anxious to get back into the classroom. And we are here to talk to you about the things that you can do to prepare to make sure that your child has a successful school year. So, we're going to be talking to school officials. We've got our new back to school issue of the Washington Informer that you can pick up on newsstands. And we have some exciting young people who spent their summer doing an internship here at the Washington Informer. These are college students who want to pursue careers in journalism. So we've got a lot to share with you today. So I hope that you'll stay tuned, watch the program, and get ready to go back to school.
Peace and blessings, Washington Informer family. I'm Sam P.K. Collins, staff writer at the Informer newspaper. And for our back to school edition, we have a very highly esteemed guest in the Ward 8 community, none other than Ward 8 State Board of Education member, LaJoy Johnson-Law, a mother first, a community organizer second, and just an all-around great person who's entrenched in the community. And she's here today to talk to us about everything related to back to school. Rep Johnson-Law, how you doing?
Hey, Sam. First of all, you know I love you. And secondly, I just want to give you honor by saying thank you. One, to the Informer, thank you all so much for having me. Two, Sam, you know how I feel about being a mother, especially a Black mother. And the fact that you said that first is like, yes. Amen. And so just that meant a lot to me. I always tell everybody, like, I have all these titles. That's cute. That's fine. I love them. I respect them. I honor them. And to God be the glory. But the greatest honor is really being a Bria's mom. And so I really thank you for honoring motherhood. I think we have to do that better in our community and honestly in the city. So the fact that you did that first, I just have to give honor where honor's due. So thank you. And I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
No question. That was, pretty much the foundation of your campaign last time. And then this time where you got into the seat, we're going into your first full school year as a state board member representing Ward 8. If you can just talk to us about what's been going on recently as far as, school visits, conversations with parents. How are we gearing up for the beginning of the 25-26 school year?
Yeah, so thank you so much. I really appreciate that question. So, hey, everybody, I'm Representative LaJoy. I just got elected. So last November 2024, I got sworn in January of this year. And so this will be like Sam said, like my first full school year, really, really coming into the fold. And so I think between both DC Public and DC Public Charter, I want to say it's been about like 30 to 40 schools. And that doesn't include the early childhood centers. And I've done actually 2 of those, but I'm still going. And so my goal for the end of the calendar, and I'll say calendar year, so by this year, December, is to have visited every single DC Public and every single DC Public Charter school in Ward 8. And then what I'll do is I'll also intertwine our early childhood centers because I want to make sure that they're getting love too, and to make sure that they're getting uplifted too. And so really, really excited about that. Let's see, on the state board, I had a resolution that passed. It was a ceremonial resolution for recess at the Capitol. I created recess at the Capitol along with CARE DC with Jonna Turner and Christina Hansen and Allison Kreiner Brown. Recess was literally formed right here in Ward 8, where we had the vision of we need to bring these kids to the Capitol. We got to get them to the Capitol with everything that's happening with our schools. We don't want them touching the school money, as you all know, of the issues that happened with Congress earlier in the year. And so we got the first time about over 700 residents with their children to come. That started right here in Ward 8. Amazing things happened right here in Ward 8. And so that was really, really exciting. I'm a big special education advocate. And so right now on the board, I'm fighting for more diploma pathways for kids that have disabilities. And, I have a campaign called Certificates Don't Pay the Bills. And so just we'll talk about that more at another time. I know we're focusing on back to school, but just wanted to let the folks know like what's kind of happening on the board. We're looking at the graduation requirements right now. And the biggest thing is kids with disabilities and making sure they have more diploma pathways. Let's see, personally, yes, I'm Abria's mom. Abria is in 9th grade. Y'all pray for her, super proud of her. But again, like Sam said, that's how I got into this, right? So I'm getting ready for back to school as a mom for a new high schooler. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. She was just like 5 and now she'll be 14 actually on August 15th. So y'all give that baby a good B-Day shout out. But getting ready as a mother, Abria also has special education needs. So that's how I got into education. That's how I got into advocacy. I'm a proud Ward 8 mom and proud to say I'm the only mom that's on the state board right now. We didn't have any before this term. So excited about that. I told Sam as we were talking, I just did my not like first school visit of the year, but like first like school visit of the 25-26 school year, back to school season. Learn Public Charter School is back. I think KIPP is also back. So I need to go visit our KIPP campuses, but Learn Public Charter School just started August 4th. And so, I think they start earlier so that way they have more time to, get the kids acclimated, I think, kind of get those like beginning school year assessments out the way and just really get kids used to it. So by the time like the first quarter, like really truly starts, kids are already acclimated to back to school. I know some kids will go back on the 18th and then everybody will be back to school on August 25th. And so I'm excited. That's like a quick catch up of what I've been doing and like a quick kind of catch up for the back to school season. So I'll throw it back to you.
No question.
I answered, right? That was
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely did. And, shout out to Abria. High school was quite a milestone. Very happy for you and for her.
Thank you.
If you wouldn't mind just, talking to us about what you've been seeing on the ground. It's my understanding that there's been like some new principals at a couple of the schools. What are your conversations like with them? How are they getting acclimated to their new school community? How's the community feeling about them?
Absolutely. So we do have, on the DC public school side, Ketchum has a new principal. So Principal Tiffany White. Johnson has a new principal, Principal Marion Wilkins, and Savoy has a new principal, Doctor. We got to give people their props, y'all. I'm a PhD student, so I know the doctoral life well. Prayerfully, it'll be done in September, but I want to give Dr. Gary Hamilton his props. We want to say his full title, Dr. Gary Hamilton. He is the new principal at Savoy, and at every single school. Well, actually, you know what? Let me go down the line. So at Ketchum, she's already done like 2 to 3 meet and greets. She's done I think she's a virtual one's coming up. She's done Principal White has been at Sweet Tooth Cafe. I said that right. Yeah, the Sweet Tooth Cafe on MLK. She did one at Grounded, and she has another virtual meet and greet coming up. She's also working on some things behind the scenes. So super excited to have her. She comes to us from Dunbar. And speaking of Dunbar, I'm going to go to Johnson. So Principal Coleman, who was at Johnson, she's now at Dunbar. And we have Principal Marion Wilkins, and it was a blessing and honor to meet her as well. She is at Johnson, and they had a community walk. So we did the walk that the Safe Passage walkers do. And we also did the walk, where the kids are basically going for safety, to make sure that we are interacting with neighbors in the community so they know the Johnson students, to look out for the Johnson students. And also, again, we got to make sure our babies are safe with themselves, not just in the community, but safe with each other. My phrase to my kids, and I say my kids like my daughter, but also I always go, I have 25,000 new babies that I inherited by this election. And so I always tell them, don't be reckless with your mouth. Don't be reckless with your mouth, and don't be reckless with your hands. And it's something about middle school where people get extra reckless. And
Yeah.
Woo, the transition time. Okay.
Yeah.
And so just really making sure that, again, that they are safe with each other. So that was a blessing. And shout out to Sharona Bean Robinson, who I believe is coordinating the different community walks to get everybody acclimated and also to meet the new principals. And again, the principals are also doing their own meet and greets with the community. And speaking of community walks, I'm going to kick it now to Savoy, who did another meet and greet like that as well, where Sharona and the DCPS community outreach team did a community walk at Savoy. We walked all the way up Martin Luther King to Good Hope Road, kind of went down. I'm sorry, y'all. Not Good Hope Road, Marion-Barry Avenue. Shout out to the mayor for life. I had to let me correct it, y'all. Y'all don't beat me in these comments now. Marion-Barry Avenue, and so we went down just a little bit, and then kind of came back again. Where are the hot spots? What's happening? And again, Savoy's an elementary school, but still, there are a lot of walkers. There are a lot of riders. Like there's a lot of people taking the bus. And so just really making sure that we are, again, connected in the community and that everybody knows and that everybody knows our kids and where they're going. And so on the charter side, I haven't heard too much about different leadership at the schools. Yes, I'm trying to make sure, like, did I get an email from somebody? But no, I think everything's pretty good there. There are a couple of new APs. Like I met AP Woods at Learn Public Charter School, who's new there a little bit earlier. But what I do want to tell my principals is I have quarterly meetings with all of the principals, both public and public charter, and directors from the early childhood centers quarterly to be able to check in with them. How is it going? What are your needs? What are your budget needs? What are your school needs? And a lot of the things that I hear is parents need more support. That's the biggest thing from the principals. I think that's the biggest thing from the families is we need more SPED support. We need more teacher support. But a lot of the principals are like, I need more family support. We need more wraparound services. I mean, I believe in community schools. I think all of the schools in Ward 8 personally need to both public and public charter need to have a community school model, but we can talk about that later. But
speaking of which,
yeah, go ahead.
Given what we're seeing happening on the Hill and with the dude in the White House, what's your call to action to the community with between the budget cuts and just the anxiety around our financial situation?
Yeah. So thank you, Sam. And I'm going to tell you, like I tell everybody in the community, this is a time we got to step up. We have to really wrap our arms around each other. And whatever skills and gifts that God has blessed you with and given you, we need to put that at the center of our community because the government isn't going to be able to bail you out. The government isn't going to be able to save us. If anything, I am thankful that there were not to the school's budget themselves, everybody stayed pretty intact. And I think that was a big deal for everybody because of everything going on. It's like they can't take any more cuts. They can't afford anymore, right? But a lot of the extra support and extra services, especially like the out of school time programs, like I'm thinking about the Trigger Project who lost funding. I'm thinking about the Children's Legacy Theater and and these other out of school time programs. And even I believe Safe Passage even got cut like over the summer. All of these different things we got to figure out. There's too many people in Ward 8. It's too many people with too many talents. And sometimes it may not be for the money. Sometimes we're really going to have to volunteer our time and our talent and literally put that up above in a prayer to God to say, Lord, bless it 2 times fold. Father God, give me double for my trouble, because there are people who really need us. I mean, the government is not bailing us out. Like, I don't know how to be any more clear about that. This is what the ancestors did, y'all. Like, they leaned on each other. They did not wait for someone to come and save them. They figured out a way. Like, love Harriet Tubman. Did she ask permission to save her community? No. She found a way. She partnered with others and she found a way to be able to go and do it. And so I think that's the mindset we really need to be in. I'm not waiting for anyone to come and save me. I'm not asking permission to serve my community. I don't have time for gatekeeping. I don't have time for asking for permission. If you see a gap, put yourself out there. If you are truly doing the work on behalf of children, And if you are really doing God's work, he's going to bless you. Point blank, period. The word says his word is will not come back void. So he's not going to sit up here. God is not a liar. He's not going to sit up here and say, I got you, and then don't got you. That's not how that works. So I think we honestly, as my pastor told me, I'm a woman of faith. I think we need to step up our faith. I think this is a season of courageous faith. I think we have to step our faith up. And we said this at our women's conference. You got to level up your faith at this point. And we really have to figure out how to lean on each other more and really figure out, okay, how do we create the wraparound services ourselves? And I think people, unfortunately, I hate to say this, we're going to have to get egos out the way. We don't have time for egos. Fine.
I think, time is so finite, and I think that this is the appropriate note to end on. But it's always a pleasure having you. I'm going to make every effort to make these interviews a bit more frequent so that we can talk all things Ward 8, all things education. But thank you for just giving us a bit of insight into what's happening in preparation for the 25-26 school year. Please let the people know how they can reach out to you with any questions, concerns, or even offerings of help.
Absolutely. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you guys just type in LaJoy Law, like I'm automatically going to come up. Also, too, I can just say my email. It's LaJoy, LaJoy, .Johnson, JOHNSON -law. LAW@dc.gov. That is my SBOE email. So just email me, hit me up on social media. Like, I love my community. I'm going to respond. I might be slow to respond. Charge my head, not my heart. Okay, y'all, they don't give us staff at the state board, y'all. The state board has staff, but I don't, as a personal member, I don't get staff. We're going to talk about that later. But just remember, be kind to somebody today. Uplift a teacher today. We have a lot of wraparound supports for our students, more wraparound supports for our families, but our teachers also needs more wraparound support and love. And so do our administrators who are doing the hard work and in the trenches work. So again, remember, be open to a new perspective today and be kind to somebody today. There are a lot of us losing folks that we love. And so just be kind to somebody today. Me and Sam talk about that all the time, don't we, Sam?
Tell you. Ward 8 State Board Representative LaJoy Johnson-Law, y'all can catch her. If not in the Ward 8 community, then in the Marion Berry building near Judiciary Square every third Wednesday.
Yep. Every third Wednesday is our public meetings. And so I was gonna say, come sign up, testify. You can go on sboe.dc.gov. Anything you can come and talk to us about. Anything. I mean, we focus on education, but if you have another play that you need us to hear too, tell us. Education related, adjacent, community related, education related, just come and talk to us. Come on down. We'll be happy to have you and make sure you can sign up to testify. So thank you, Sam, and thank you to the Informer. I really love you guys, seriously.
The feeling is mutual. Give thanks.
Good day to our tuned audience. This is Richard Elliott with the Washington Informer, and I am happy to introduce you all and for us to hear from Dr. Shawn Joseph, the newest superintendent of Prince George's County Public Schools, one of the largest school systems in these United States. How are you doing today, Dr. Joseph?
And I'm great. Good to see you, Richard.
Well, good to see you too. And here's what I'd like to talk with you about. You've already introduced your 100-day plan that has different aspects on how you plan to fill teacher vacancies, how you plan to fill several different voids in our school system, and you are well prepared for this. What are some of the goals that your 100-day plan seeks to address, and how quickly, not how quickly, but what else do you think can be done in order to improve educational outcomes in the county alongside your efforts?
Man, right now, I mean, we've just got to be one band, one sound. And I think the 100-day plan gives us the infrastructure to do that, working with the board, working with the county, working with our parents, working with our teachers. I'm really focused on academic improvement. Do we know where kids are? What does it take to accelerate them? How do we address our teacher vacancies? What are we doing with this Maryland blueprint for the future, right? We're blessed to be in a state that has given us an additional $3 billion to get things right for all kids. So how are we accelerating those efforts? And then what are we doing with operations? Making sure buildings are clean, people are getting the materials and so forth that they need to really execute. So this is a back to basics plan to really get us focused so we can get out of the gate running. And then we'll move from the 100-day activities to an actual strategic planning process where the board and I will be able to lock down on, are we dreaming big enough for our kids? Are we being bold enough in terms of our goals? And what are the plans that are going to help us get there over time?
Well, thank you. One of the hot button aspects that people have been seeking improvement in has been transportation.
Yeah.
Specifically with transportation, what are your ideas? What do you want to do?
Transportation is a big one for us right now. We have over 1,000 bus drivers. Think about that. Some school districts don't have, 1,000 kids. We got 1,000 bus drivers in Prince George's County. We're a district of 130,000 students, and we've got thousands of kids that are on buses. Well, the fact is, getting 1,000 bus drivers every year is quite a challenge. And right now we have a vacancy. We have about 137 vacancies, which means there are going to be some challenges starting off. Most kids will have great experiences, but with 137 vacancies, that equates to about 600 bus routes that will be delayed or have some challenges. So some of the things that we're doing, one, we're starting to pilot new software, and that software will help parents track where our buses are. So if a bus is late, they'll know that it's going to be late and we can track it. We're going to start that with a pilot this semester with our special education buses. And if that pilot goes well, we're going to expand it to all schools. We're going to bring in new software called Chipmunk to help us do that. And we might explore some additional software to get going. Two, we've put new GPS tracking systems in over 1,000 buses. So we'll be able and be prepared to better track where buses are. Three, we've got to communicate. So we know that we have 137 vacancies. So we should know where those bus routes will be impacted. And we're going to be communicating to families much clearer so they can anticipate how much longer it'll take for those affected areas, what the delays will be. So we'll make sure we're communicating that up front earlier. Four, we're going to push out and make sure all of our families that ride buses get a QR code this summer that takes them to the system that will allow them to get real-time, very accurate data on where buses will pick their kids up and where they'll, drop them back off. Next, we're going to have some hubs. So we're creating 3 hubs working with Parks and Planning to reduce the amount of time kids in our specialty schools are on buses. So we're working towards that. And 4, you're going to see a campaign, a blitz, even though we're 137 bus drivers down. We're actively working to recruit. We've got some of the best benefits in the country in terms of what we offer for healthcare, medical care, dental care, prescriptions, and so forth. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you are somebody who has a flexible job that needs additional insurance, I think this is a great place. And so we're going to be communicating to people the benefits of being a bus driver in our system and actively recruiting. We've got a lot of employees within the district who it would be a huge pay raise for them to consider driving a bus. And we pay for you to get all of your certifications and everything going. But we've got to help people understand the great opportunity to serve and becoming a bus driver. So that's going to be rolling out. So you're going to see a multitude of things happening. And then we're going to explain to people, how long it takes. It takes about 6 weeks to become a bus driver in the system, because we've got to, once you say yes, you want to do it, we've got to get you trained, ready to make sure you're safe and everything's good to go. So working on that pipeline so we can have, great people in place, hopefully by, the end of October, November is realistic, and we'll be good to go.
Well, we would love to do a follow-up to help fill in that vacancy, to help promote the benefits and otherwise help to fill in any positions within the school system that need to be addressed. So that's definitely a follow-up that we'd love to do.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, look, school systems have made many people around the country, it's been their pathway to middle classdom. And we want to, promote the great opportunities that are in the district.
Especially for Black families. My grandma was a teacher.
Say it loud.
Well, you said that this is a 130,000 strong student school system, 1,000 bus drivers. This is one of the 20 or so largest in the nation. What experiences prepares you to step into such a big role? And who are some of the mentors that have taught you along the way?
Man, I have not missed a beat. I've been an English teacher, a reading specialist, a team leader, dean of students, assistant principal. I was the Maryland State Principal of the Year in 2009, supervised 34 schools, all in Montgomery County, Maryland, which is larger than us. We're the 17th largest school district in the country. They're about the 14th largest district in the country, but I supervise the schools in Silver Spring, Blair, Einstein, Northwood, Kennedy, high schools, and all the middle schools and elementary that fed them. Before becoming a superintendent in 2012 in Seaford, Delaware, then deputy superintendent in Prince George's County, 2014 to 2016, and then being the superintendent in Nashville, Tennessee, which had 96,000 students, 189 schools in Nashville, before going to Fordham University to become a visiting associate professor. And then for the past 5 years, I've been at Howard University, where I run an urban superintendent's academy, teaching the doctoral program, and have trained about 23 sitting superintendents around the country. So in terms of experience, hey, I've been a true West Indian, on the grind with it.
So for any critics whatsoever, that resume reads as though you are the person who trains individuals to be a superintendent. We have a person that has experience in giving people experience, and that's worth something. Yeah. All right. Not to give a loaded question, what are some of the strengths of the school system that you seek to emphasize? And what are some of the areas of improvement? We already discussed transportation, but any of the other areas of improvement you seek to address?
Yeah, strengths for sure are our people. I mean, the people that are in Prince George's County, for the most part, are really committed to doing the right thing and will put the work in. I think we've got strong curriculum. I think we've got great technology in our schools. I think we've got great students. I mean, we hear a lot about, some of the craziness that happens, but the majority of students come in and give it 100% every day and are graduating, and they're going to Howard University, Morgan University, University of Maryland, Towson, Harvard, Yale, Princeton. We've got the spectrum here. So, so those are some of the strengths. Some of the challenges we have, we've got to get family engagement right. I think too many families either because of what we do, don't feel welcome and don't contribute, or they just don't know how to contribute. And I think we've got to work to strengthen that. We're not performing academically like we should. I think we've got too many students who are not meeting the Maryland state standards, and we've got to work to do that. Special education has been a significant problem for us. We've had a problem with hiring staff and making sure that schools are staffed with great teachers for our special needs students and paraeducators and other people who support them. And I think we've got to own that, and we've got to fix that. And I think, we have 208 schools in our district. It's the largest portfolio of schools in the state of Maryland. And our buildings are over 50 years old for the most part. And so we've got a multi-billion-dollar backlog in maintenance. That's a challenge. So, some of our schools don't have air conditioning, for example. And when it gets hot, it's rough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the reality. So we have those challenges to overcome. But those challenges can all be overcome. I think leadership matters. I think working collectively with the community, communicating better, we can get things done.
Well, I love the one band, one sound mentality that you expressed earlier. Publisher Denise Rolark Barnes did an interview with County Executive Aisha Braveboy, and she spoke highly not only of you, but also of her relationship with the County Council Chair and with the Chair of the Board of Education. And this is a fairly rare situation in Prince George's where all four of those people, the County Executive, the Council Chair, the Board Chair, and the Superintendent, are all strategically aligned. And I think it poises us for great results.
Yeah, it's the only reason I came back, quite frankly. I'm old. I can't deal with crazy. You know what I'm saying? But we've got, I mean, having a visionary like Aisha Braveboy as county executive, and having Ed Burrows there, who understands the school system and has been a huge advocate for getting things right for kids in the county, and then having Brandon Jackson as our board chair, who's also very focused on moving the needle forward. When those stars align, it allows me to be able to do my work. When
Right.
people are fighting and carrying on, and the job is already hard. You put some extra crazy on it. Like I can't be drinking every night, frustrated. You know what I'm saying? I got, so with everything being aligned, I'm gonna be sober and focused.
We appreciate the honesty. As superintendent that's able to focus on education is a thing that we desperately need, and that I'm greatly thankful for having. So right. for anybody that cares about getting involved in helping the school system, you said for improving family engagement, we can round this conversation off with any recommendations you have of ways that people can get involved in the school system and help improve outcomes.
Yeah, first and foremost, tell all our prayer warriors out there to pray for us and keep us in mind and in heart daily, because prayer does help and change things. I'd say that first. Second, I would encourage families to come out to one of our listen and learn sessions. We had 9 virtual sessions, 1 in each district, and we're going to have 9 in-person sessions. We need you to come out and show you are supportive of the system and know how to get engaged. And we're going to be working with Dr. Sheila Jackson, who's been our family engagement director for a long time here. And she's going to be working to help us really strengthen our volunteerism, strengthen how parents can support their children academically, and help families get involved in the governance. I think that's going to be really critical for us. Also, we've got to work at the school level to make it easy for parents to engage and provide some support at the school level. So we'll be giving direct training and support to our principals, because at the end of the day, people don't care about Shawn Joseph. They care about who their principal and what's happening in their school and who their teachers are. So the message that I'm communicating at the top has to trickle down to the school level, for schools to change their behaviors to get families actively involved. Because if we all do that, look, when kids know their parents are coming into schools, they're not going to act up, because they know that causes some problems when they get home, if we do this thing right.
That's right. Mama said that anytime I misbehave, she told the teacher that they had the permission to hit me. They didn't because I behaved. Because right. I behaved. Thank you, Mama. Well, so you said one band, one sound. How's the Washington Informer contributing to your mission? We will be giving positive stories about students in Prince George's County, working with NASA, going to perform in athletic competitions, winning scholarships, performing and doing well as scholars. We need to root for our school system success. Thank you for everybody who has tuned in and listened to the wonderful and wise Dr. Shawn Joseph, who will be leading the Prince George's County school system in this upcoming year. Dr. Joseph, we wish you well, and thank you for speaking with us today.
Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you again, Richard.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Y'all have a good day.
Take care.
Can you believe it? The summer is almost over, and we have had a wonderful opportunity to work with some fantastic student journalism interns here at the Washington Informer. I'm Denise Rollard Barnes, publisher of the Informer, and boy, just to know what it's like as a young journalism wannabe, a reporter. I remember those days when I was a student at Howard University, and actually even though I'd worked with the Informer for years, I did my internship also here at the Informer, bringing the skills that I'd been learning at Howard University School of Communications. And as a matter of fact, that's where all of these interns came from this summer, the Kathy Hughes Howard University School of Communications. And so, you learn skills in the classroom, and then you take those skills and you have to actually use them, which is what the internship is all about, and why we had such a great summer with these students who you're going to hear from in just a minute. So sit back, relax, and listen to what the future of journalism and the future of the Black press looks like with these young folks who really wanted to work with us and have wonderful stories to tell.
I'm Trevor Johnson, intern here at the Washington Informer from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm an economics graduate from Howard University. So what made me apply to the Washington Informer actually was, I would say the main influence was my professor, Sam P.K. Collins, who also is a senior writer here at the Washington Informer. But in his class, he really got into the history and the importance of the Black press, and that's what the Washington Informer does. It's continuing that legacy, making sure Black voices are represented equally, and I thought it would be a good chance to also diversify my skill set and work on something I'm passionate about. What has been the most rewarding part of my internship? I would say improving my talking skills, interviewing people, going out, and also this is my own first summer in DC, so I got a chance to learn about DC, the different wards, and just improve my talking skills, I would say, is the most rewarding part of my internship. How has this internship aligned with my career goals? Again, I would just say it's an opportunity to diversify my skill set, and I now have, I can now say that I have journalism experience under my belt. A specific task or project that I found the most interesting, I would say it was my first article that I wrote, which was the military parade that Trump had. And I went there and I pitched the story, I went and covered it. And I would say it was an intense experience, especially for a first article, because it was the No Kings protest along with the military parade, so it was just a lot of people and a lot of noise, and I would say it improved my interviewing skills, especially having to find people to talk to and interview people, and it just was a interesting experience overall. And even Jamon, I asked him to come out and help me for that, so I would say it was probably the most interesting and intense and valuable experience I had at the Informer. What I've learned from the journalism field during this internship, I would say it's fast-paced, very spontaneous, and it can be random at times. Looking back, if I were to do anything different, I would ask more questions. I'm excited to help, and so I would have just asked more questions. The advice I would give to interns, future interns at the Washington Informer, is to maximize the opportunity. So the Informer gives you minimum expectations, and then you're pretty much able to maximize your time here any way you want. You're able to step out of your comfort zone, stay in the comfort zone. It's pretty lenient in what you can do here. So I would just say take advantage of that. Would I recommend this internship to other students? I would say it depends on your goals. I would say definitely if you're interested into journalism, and even people like me who are an economics major, it's a chance to broaden your skills and diversify your skill set. And I would say that looks good to any employer. One last thing I'll add and share is just I had a good time. There were ups and downs, but that's the nature of the beast. That's how life works. It's a bumpy road, and the same with this internship. So I would just embrace that, talk to your peers, ask questions, and you'll have a good time here.
Hi everyone, my name is William Armstead. I'm going into my senior year at Howard University. I'm a journalism major and political science minor from New Jersey. What motivated me to apply for this internship, actually my uncle was the one who recommended that I apply, And also, what motivated me is I wanted to learn more about stories that aren't talked about as much, and I feel like I would have that opportunity here at the Informer. The most rewarding part of this internship, I would say, is being able to travel the entire city. I feel like there wasn't one part of DC that I didn't visit this summer as a part of being in this internship. And also, it's very rewarding to see all the hard work you put in, and then really when you get to see your work published online, it's a great feeling. This internship aligns with my career goals because in the future I want to be a sports journalist, and I didn't really get to cover any sports here at the Informer, which is completely fine because even with sports journalism, I would still have to know how to get quotes, interview people, and I feel even more comfortable doing that after this internship has been completed. A specific project that I really enjoy working on and that I found most interesting here was the Ward 8 special election, going around to all the different candidates in the election and seeing all the support that they had behind them. It was really great to see. It was just great community vibes. The advice that I would give to future interns at the Washington Informer would be to do the most work that you can. You want with the short amount of period of time that you have, you want to get the most done that you possibly can, get the most stories you can publish. So you really get the most out of the experience, and you have stuff to show for it. When people say, "Oh, pull up your work from the Informer," you have a whole list of things to show them. So that's really what you want. I would recommend this internship to other students if you really are looking to be in the field of journalism. With this internship, you get hands-on practice, going up to people, getting quotes, doing interviews. So yeah, that's why I would recommend this internship. What advice would I give to students seeking an internship? I would say don't be nervous, don't be scared. You'll get through it. You can get help, and everything will be okay. My internship with the Washington Informer has shaped my view of the Black press by showing me that there are many stories out there that are underrepresented or may not get enough attention in the mainstream media. And this goes back to some of the stories that I did for the Informer, such as the sidewalk safety story or how the DC budget shortfall is affecting our DC communities. And I chose these stories because I wanted to bring light to them and highlight them that other media outlets may not do as well.
Hi, my name is Ariana Marie Sukram. I'm a senior legal communications major, economics minor at Howard University, originally from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm graduating spring 2026. The way that I discovered unexpected DTU fellowship with Chevrolet was truly an unconventional one. It was recommended to me by a friend who thought that I showed a lot of potential to be accepted into the program. But when I saw that one of the requirements to join it was you having a driver's license, I thought, wow, maybe this isn't for me. But I decided to not see it as a weakness, but as a strength. And I pitched my video in a way that if they were willing to give me a chance, I was willing to overcome my fear and get my driver's license. I signed up for my learner's permit that same day. And that's how I pitched my idea to be one of their fellows. And they loved it because I'm here. I still don't have a driver's license, but I definitely got that fellowship, and I'm very proud of that. I don't have to be on the road. I'm on the streets getting the information to the people instead. During my time at the Washington Informer, I can say that it has been very beneficial to my personal and professional skills. It's really helped me break out of my shell, interviewing random people on the street, to writing stories that are not only important to me, but that are also promising to my community, the Caribbean community. One of my projects that I was really passionate about was writing about the current student immigration crisis and how it's going to affect incoming students. I love being able to deliver that information to those who needed it. If I had to give some advice to future interns, I would say don't be afraid to pitch your stories that really matter to you and ask questions, ask for help, and constantly ask for advice. This is a growing and learning environment that not only are you being mentored, but you're being coached into how you can be a better interviewer and writer as well. This internship has really helped my career goals. I would say I'm on the pre-law track. I would really love to be a lawyer. And though lawyers are known to argue and speak, they also need to know how to write. So I would say it's really refined my writing skills and being able to deliver stories from not only my perspective, but the community's perspective, and hearing opinions and thoughts and being able to create it into a well-developed story. Coming from the Caribbean, my view of most American things are with a clean slate. So my view of the Black press has been something very eye-opening, that without organizations like this, hard-hitting stories or information that directly affect the Black and Brown communities would be undisclosed without them, or truths would be withheld from these communities without organizations like the Black press. Because stories are always circulating the news and newspapers, but the ones that really affect our community are either overlooked, underreported, or are even untold. And with organizations like the Black press, we always know that there is an organization that looks out for us, looks out for the stories, and looks out for finding solutions to problems that are affecting us as well.
Hello, everyone. My name's Maven McGann. I'm from Washington, D.C. I'm a Howard student that's going into my senior year. I'm studying international affairs, and I'm also French studies. And I'm working for the Washington Informer through the Chevrolet DTU internship. And I'm excited to be here. The reason I applied for this internship is I was previously working at Moreland Spingarn Research Center, specifically with the Black Press Archive. And so for the past 2 years, I've been digitizing all the newspapers. I just thought it would be really interesting to be on the other side of that whole process and start creating stories and like seeing the voices of DC for myself. So the most rewarding part of this internship has definitely been learning the skills of what it means to be a journalist. I don't have a lot of formal training as a journalist, so it's definitely been a learning experience, and I'm really grateful for all the people that have helped me through this process. I actually want to give a shout out to Sam Collins, because I feel like he was my toughest editor, but he's also my biggest supporter, and he really sat there and like explained the outline of what every article should look like. And I'd say doesn't necessarily exactly translate to what my major is with international affairs, but who knows? I could go into writing international stories. I'm actually planning on publishing a story. I was just in Canada, and I'm going to write about Caribana. And so I think it'd be really cool to be able to mesh those two things together. And I think journalism is just a skill that everyone should be able to pick up, because you learn to talk to people, you learn to just sit down and reflect and find the story. And I like the way that Sam explained journalism, because you have your quotes and then you kind of just marry them together with the facts, but in a very poetic way. So learning that like science has been very exciting for me. So me and Ariana have been working on mini docuseries that find the cultural touchstones of DC. And we just think about, okay, well, how are they serving their community? How are they connecting? And how do they align with Chevrolet's values? So the first one that we did, we went to DC Central Kitchen's graduation, which also happened to be a story that we were writing for the Washington Informer. and we got to interview people at all different levels of the company, whether it was a student or a CEO of the project or the Hilton partner who oversees the externships and thinks about next steps after graduation. So that was the first one. This experience has shaped my understanding and view of the Black press in a completely different way. I was looking at the Post, and now I'm like actually getting to see the process of what it means to be a boots on ground journalist and walking on the street and seeing something crazy happening and like kind of looking around and asking, okay, so like what's happening? And just being able to get everyone's different points of views. I think it's been a really cool opportunity, and even seeing the camaraderie like among the employees that work here, it's definitely a family and everyone supports each other in whatever way possible. I know Raja has offered his contacts like a million times, and he's like, if you need us to contact this person so that you can get a story for DTU, just let us know. And so I think it's just been a really cool opportunity to be able to learn and grow and cultivate a skill that I don't really think I've been able to cultivate before.
Hi, my name is V. Wright. I am a senior journalism major at Howard University from South Florida. I was inspired to apply for this internship because I'm very passionate about journalism and storytelling. Going to the Washington Informer seemed like the right choice because it's a Black newspaper, and I'm just very passionate about telling stories for the people within our communities. Even though we tell stories outside of the Black community, I did feel like from this perspective, it's very important. The most rewarding part of this internship has definitely been all the stories that I've been able to tell and the stories that people have told me, all the new information that I've learned over the past 8 weeks. This internship directly aligns with my career goals because I definitely aspire to be a multimedia journalist. With my specific focus has been in print, so it really helped me hone in and really refine my writing. My favorite project had to be me covering the DC World Pride. Not only was it my first Pride, but also there was just great energy around, and there was a lot of people who had a story to tell. This experience really showed me that the Black press is so important because we need us Black people in the Black community. We need a source that is willing to and wants to tell our stories and give voice to us when a lot of other outlets aren't there to support us.
Hello, I'm Raja Kelly. I'm the Chief Officer of Technology and Grants for the Washington Informer. I help to manage our digital assets and also assist with the process of recruiting and interviewing interns. For us, that typically starts with an application, which you can get online at the WashingtonInformer.com or the Washington Informer Charities website, which is wicharities.org. Once the prospective intern has submitted their application, which of course includes either a writing sample or a multimedia work sample, it's reviewed by our editorial team, and then they make the determination whether they'd like to bring the person in for the interview. Once we speak with them, we try and get a sense of their education in terms of things they've studied, how interested are they in the field of journalism. For us, it's not important that you're an intern major, but more that you're interested in learning about the world and learning about how to tell stories. And we think that that's something that applies across a range of fields, even if your goal isn't necessarily to be a professional journalist. Once we speak to the prospective interns and they've demonstrated a willingness to learn and work collaboratively, then we bring them in for either a semester in the spring, the fall, or the summer. And there, they get some trainings from us, but it's really a hands-on internship where, after we kind of give you the basics of how we do things at the Washington Informer, we're really asking interns to go out into the field and essentially become members of our staff. I know it was really important for me when I interned here many years ago to have that experience and to really learn about how storytelling is done from a journalistic perspective, and how to learn how important community reporting is in sharing like vital information with the community. I think it's one of the most important jobs that there is, and I'm happy that we get to share that information and share these experiences with the young students and young reporters of tomorrow.
What an exciting show. Can you believe it? Again, the summer is almost over, and we've had a chance to hear from so many folks in our community who are telling us what we can do with all of our children from pre-K to high school and college students. So we hope you've enjoyed the program. Remember, if you know someone who's interested in doing an internship with the Washington Informer, remember to visit wicharities.org. Again, that's wicharities.org. There's an application there. We are getting ready for our fall internships. We have internships in the fall, spring, and summer. Raja gave you that information. We hope to see you. And no, we have opportunities for high school students as well. So, consider applying. But in the meantime, we're going to continue with Sam Collins, as you know, who's our education writer, and more stories about what we can do to make sure that our children have a successful school year. Talk to you soon.
Where did you come to get all